My dear brothers and sisters, we will enter into meditation, but before doing so, first we must obtain profound relaxation of the mind and of the physical body. Comfortably sit in a seat. It can be an armchair, a mat, a pillow on the floor, or on a bed. Relax your whole body well. Let no muscle or any part of the body remain in tension, so that the body may be completely loose and comfortable. Live from instant to instant, from moment to moment, without the painful weight of the past, without worrying about the future. Relax the mind. Empty it of all kinds of thoughts, desires, and passions. Do not accept any thought inside your mind. The mind must be quiet within, without, and in the center. Thus, in deep meditation, and with the mind relaxed, you will experience reality. Devote yourself to your profound inner God. Forget worldliness completely. The eyelids are to be kept closed during meditation. Let your physical vehicle be delightfully lulled to sleep. Meditation without sleepiness destroys the brain and damages the mind. Profound meditation, properly combined with sleepiness, leads to ecstasy, to samadhi. Combine sleepiness with meditation in harmonious proportions. Never forget the law of equilibrium. You truly need 50% sleepiness and 50% meditation. Practice meditation when you feel predisposed to normal sleep. The baker who wants to prepare bread will have to know how to combine the different quantities of water and flour. If he uses more water than flour, the bread will not turn out well for the baker. If he uses a lot of flour and not much water, in this case also the bread will not come out well for the baker. In a similar way, the science of meditation is like this. If we have more sleepiness than meditation, we will fall into unconsciousness. If we have more meditation than sleepiness, we will ruin the mind and the brain. However, if we know how to harmoniously combine sleepiness and meditation, we will achieve that which is called samadhi, ecstasy. He who tries to meditate while radically eliminating sleepiness resembles one who tries to drive an automobile while stepping on the brakes. Another example will clarify all this better. Imagine for a moment a horseman on his horse. If the horseman wants to make his horse gallop off, he will have to slacken the reins. But if instead of doing that he pulls on the reins and hurts the animal with his spurs, he will have done something absurd, since the poor animal will become restless. The horse will stand up on his hind legs, neigh, and even violently throw the horseman to the ground. Something precisely analogous to this will happen to the devotee who tries to meditate while eliminating sleepiness. Mental relaxation must be perfect. Any idea, desire, thought, etc. that crosses the mind at a given moment produces tension, and this is not relaxation. Perfect relaxation of the mind excludes desires, ideas, thoughts, memories, and passions. To empty the mind, to turn it into a deep, bottomless well, is to truly relax it. The superficial mind is like a puddle on the road. When the water of the puddle evaporates beneath the rays of the sun, only mud and dirt remains. The profound mind, marvelously relaxed, is like an unfathomable lake where innumerable fish live and where there is life in abundance. When someone throws a stone in a calm and serene lake, shining waves are produced that travel from the center towards the periphery. That is the reaction of the water in the face of the impacts coming from the outside world. In like manner, we will say that the relaxed mind is like a calm and serene lake, where wherein the panorama of the universe is reflected. Impacts coming from the outside world fall into the lake of the mind and give rise to waves that travel from the center to the periphery. Those waves disturb the mind of students and lead them to failure. The mind must be controlled from the center so that one never reacts when facing the impacts that come from the external world. We will begin this practice of the 6 paths of breathing. According to the basic theory of the identicalness of mind and prana, if one can tame his breath, his mind will also be tamed. The breathing exercise is, therefore, one of the best paths that lead to concentration, meditation, and samadhi. Concentration is a phase of meditation. Meditation follows concentration. Concentration, then, first and foremost, is what the aspirant should acquire in the spiritual path. So we will begin the first phase. The first step, called the stage of counting the breath, is to focus one's mind on the count of each inhalation or exhalation, but never both at the same time. Count from 1 to 10 very slowly and calmly. If the counting is interrupted by a single distracting thought, the yogi should go back and recommence his counting at 1. Through repeated practice, he will gradually become well versed in this counting exercise. All distracting thoughts will be eliminated, and the process of counting from 1 to 10 will be completed without interruption. The breathing will then become very subtle, light, and tamed. We will begin this phase now for 5 minutes until you hear the bell. Phase 2. Here, the yogi's mind merges itself with his breathing, following it in and out with ease and in perfect continuity. He will now feel that the air he takes in spreads throughout his entire body, even reaching to the tip of every hair, and his mind will become very calm and serene. Practice this now for 5 minutes until hearing the bell. Phase 3. In this stage, the yogi should completely ignore the breath and stop his mind on the tip of the nose. He will now feel extremely tranquil and steady, and soon both his body and mind will seem to have vanished into nothingness. Although the experience is wonderful, one should not cling to it or linger in it. Spend 5 minutes now until you hear the bell. Phase 4. After this, the yogi should take the fourth step, called the observation practice. By observing his extremely subtle breath and all the contents of his physical body, the bones, flesh, blood, muscles, excrement, etc. This will bring him to the realization that all of them are transient, momentary, and delusive, having no self-nature whatsoever. By repeatedly applying this scanning or observation practice, the internal eye of the yogi's mind will gradually open. He will be able to see clearly all the minute functions of his organs and viscera, and will realize that both physical and psychic existence are within the bounds of misery, transiency, and delusion, subject to the illusory idea of ego. Spend 5 minutes now until you hear the bell. Phase 5. The yogi must observe carefully the very nature of all the meditation practices which he has so far employed. He will then see that all of them are bound within a pattern of dualism. For there is always a mind that practices and an object or scheme that is practiced upon. To relinquish this face-to-face dichotomy and bring the mind back to its primordial state, the one absolute void, is the central theme of the returning practice. This primordial state is to be entered into by contemplating the non-existent or void nature of the mind. If one realizes that his mind is void by nature, from where could the dichotomous subject and object possibly come? When the yogi arrives at the realization of this truth, the great transcendental wisdom will suddenly blossom as he dwells naturally and spontaneously in the primordial state. Spend 5 minutes now until you hear the bell. Phase 6. The Purity Practice. Nevertheless, the yogi should still go one step further to work on the sixth and last stage, the purity practice, in order to cleanse the subtle defilement of doing, and to perfect and complete the transcendental wisdom that has blossomed within him. The purity practice is to observe the voidness of dichotomy and to merge one's mind with the all-embracing equality. It is only through practice of voidness that any form of Buddhist meditation is brought to completion. Spend the last 5 minutes now freeing yourself from all activity, from doing, not moving, not thinking, not desiring, not practicing a technique, not doing a meditation. We can call this the methodless method, non-meditation, not doing. Just be. Just rest and abide in your own presence, not doing absolutely anything, not doing anything at all.